Do you see that? Do you see those red lights down there? That is my AT&T internet service. There's the AT&T icon out again. This is happening so regularly. This used to be rock solid. I signed up for AT&T 6 years ago, and for 5 years, it was super solid. Then all of a sudden, especially within the last couple of months, this happens a lot. I mean, multiple times a week, sometimes for 2 and 3 days at a time. And this has kind of culminated. I'm making a video when you shouldn't make one. I'm frustrated right now. I'm frustrated because these corporations, these large companies, especially AT&T, Comcast, companies like that, they are charging us more and more money for less and less reliable stuff. And they're even outsourcing support, taking away American jobs, sending it overseas, sometimes to people that barely have a grasp of the English language. Nothing against the people just trying to make a living, saying from a corporate perspective, you're taking money from America and you're sending it overseas, and then you're charging us more for crappier service over and over again. My AT&T service just a few years ago was $110 for internet and UVerse TV, 300 channels. I was one of the legacy UVerse TV subscribers. Well, now that's $216 just a few years later, maybe even as recent as the last couple of years, for service that is progressively going downhill. Let me move this up. This is going to be rattly, but I want to show you something here. This little shelf, this is where Dusty, I just dusted this within the last couple of weeks because my UVerse DVR used to sit here. It worked for 6 years, and then the UVerse DVR quit working. It gave up the ghost. That meant I had to contact support. That was in the Philippines, and that's where the problem started, the language disconnect. I'm a languages major, so I know a thing or two about language comprehension, and I know that someone can speak a language but not really understand it when they're talked to in that language. I know this personally. It's very, very much different being able to speak in a language and speaking or hearing someone in their native dialect at their native cadence. You start trying to pick out individual words and try to piece things together, and that's what I ran into. I would say DVR receiver, and they would hone in on receiver, and out of an entire paragraph, they're thinking receive to receive. That's what he means by receiver. He hasn't received the receiver. No, I actually received a replacement DVR receiver, and it was DOA as well. They sent a second replacement DVR receiver, which you could tell by looking at the quality of them. They were getting at the bottom of the barrel on their UVerse DVR receivers. That was dead too. That means I had no TV for over a week, but I was still being billed. It was $178 and change just for the TV side. So I got mad and I finally canceled, even though you can't go back. I finally canceled the UVerse TV side. I signed up for Hulu, $69.99. That saved me some money. That meant I only had AT&T internet here. And this AT&T internet, like I say, it's been progressively getting worse and worse. So I thought, I'm going to go back to what I started with 6 years ago, which was Comcast, which I left for UVerse, because there is one thing about AT&T. AT&T UVerse TV, we have fiber in my area, but not in my immediate area. So that means I can only get their DSL product. AT&T UVerse DSL is actually a pretty consistent performer. I only get 50 megabits, 10 megabits. That means 50 megabits down, 10 megabits up. But that 50 down is actually 59.9. It ranges between 59.7 and 60.2 down. And the up, I always get 11.9 to 12.2. It's 12.4. It's very consistent. Comcast was very much not. No matter what plan, at 8 p.m., you could have my father, he has a 300 megabit plan. At 8 p.m. in the evening, he'll be lucky to get 5, maybe 8 megabits down, and it'll be kilobits up. Well, as a YouTuber, obviously that's a no-go. That's where this UVerse DSL came in handy because it was so consistent. But I got frustrated. I canceled the TV side. I thought, I don't need their stinking internet. I can get 400 megabits down in the same upload speed for half the price. So I tried signing up with Comcast again. Well, let me tell you about that experience. Comcast said that they would have to send me a self-install kit. Problem, my Comcast cable, well, I don't even have a cable here, so this will represent the cable. My Comcast cable was cut by the city about 3 years ago when they were trimming trees. No big deal to me because I had UVerse DSL at the time. So it just got tucked back up in the tree where they cut it. They said they were going to have to charge me $99 to come back out and reconnect that cable. I was desperate, so I decided to use it as backup to this UVerse. And if it's really that much better, like one neighbor says it is now, I would cancel it, even though my father's is not. But I do have one neighbor, a new sign up with Comcast, Xfinity, that says his is always blazingly fast, never slow. So I decided I would give it a try. They sent out an installer, and that installer told me he could not connect the cable because it was higher than the 6-foot ladder that he had. I'm not exaggerating here. That leads to 4 weeks of me going back and forth with not AT&T support, but Comcast support, also overseas, where they finally told me they were going to have to do a site survey. They sent a site surveyor out to measure the lines, and that site surveyor said, yeah, we can get this hooked up. I'll put in the work order. Forward another week, I was told that, quote, you are not in the Comcast service area. The Comcast connection, not AT&T, Comcast, but I don't have anything else to point to at this point, the same Comcast that I was signed up for 6 years ago, and I might be overestimating my arm strength here, but I'm willing to bet that I could hit at least 8, maybe 9 houses with rocks around me that all have Comcast, yet somehow my little 75-foot by 150-foot sized yard bubble is not eligible for Comcast service anymore. So yeah, I have no Comcast option apparently, at least according to their overseas support. So I have to stick with AT&T UVerse that now does this all the time. This has been going on all day. I finally contacted support and got an automated message telling me they're working on it. The last time that happened, it was out for 3, almost 4 days. It was out for so long that I went camping in an RV, only to find out the last day that my connection had came back. So yeah, are you tired like I am of paying more money to these large corporations that are giving you less service while they constantly jack up the prices on your bill and take away American jobs? It's really ticking me off. I should not probably be making this video because it's not politically correct, but I'm that mad. Something's got to give. I don't know what it is, but internet these days, internet communication, be it your cell phone, which those rates are also going up like crazy, but these corporations, they're charging more for less, and it's starting to really bother me because this day and age you have to have an internet connection if you want to survive or at least be profitable in life. I mean, log into work stuff for scheduling and so on. Yeah, that's my story and my rant. Comment below if you too have experienced this horrible service and or the constant jacking of rates for less and less. If you're tired of that, comment below, let me hear it. And thanks for tolerating this rant. Have a great day.